Good day. Welcome to this particular session of common formula errors with A Plus Academy. So today we'll be looking at formula errors. Like if you are actually inputting a formula or you are analyzing a data using formula or functions, it's possible for you to receive errors sometime. For you to know what kind of error is this and what could be the cause of the error and how to identify them. So these are basic error we have in Excel. Once you see # name ref div is div error, then value error. What could you do to throw this particular error? This particular one is actually not an error. It's an indication showing you that the content of your cell is larger than the space you allotted for the cell. For example, if I should reduce this particular stuff to this like this, you see it has showed # showing that what the content of this cell is actually bigger than the cell itself. So what you are going to do to resolve this particular error this is throwing is just to increase the cell. By increasing the cell, this is fixed. So anytime you see something of #, you should already know what the issue is and how to fix them. So we want to look at name error. Name error can occur if you do mistake in your formula. While typing your formula, you actually made a mistake. For example, if I want to type equal to sum and I actually mistakenly added an m and I actually want to sum all this and this, I'll get a name error. It will tell you that this particular name of the function or the content of this cell you are typing is not correct, so kindly revisit it and do what is needful. So by doing that, you can just click on this arrow is to see invalid name error, help of this error and necessary stuff, or you just come and look at your formulas or look at the content of the cell, and once you edit it, you'll be fine back to normal. So reference error is showing you that where you reference this particular cell, the data for that for the calculation you are trying to do is no longer available. So if I want to sum equal to sum, I want to sum two cells together. Let's say for example I want to sum this and I want to sum this. I'm supposed to get 60, right? And I already got 60. Then by mistake I mistakenly deleted this cell, or intentionally I deleted this cell. What am I getting? Reference error. It's showing me that I actually referenced this cell from our function to show E4 and E5, but the data for this E4, rather the cell for this E4, is no longer available because what I actually deleted it is showing what reference error. So you can actually do what, look at your error and look for possible way to fix it. Div error. What does div error do you? Div error is a division error by 0. Shows that you cannot divide a number by 0. I might want to divide this cell. Let's say I have 0 here. Sorry, I have 0 in this cell and I want to actually divide. I will type equal to this divide by this as our formula, and I actually want to do this. I'm going to divide, get div error. Shows that this particular cell you are trying to, the value for this cell you are trying to get from this particular cell is 0. So ideally you cannot divide anything by 0. And lastly, our value error. What does value error tell us? Value error tells us that there is error with one or more formula arguments. So arguments that are being passed into formula, there is error with them. So you might want to look for a formula. Let's say XLOOKUP. So these are arguments, what you pass into a formula. Let me use a much more simpler formula. Let me say maximum. Okay, maximum. These are argument number 1, number 2, number 3. So once you have an error with this one of your arguments, possibly because it might not be available, or the data you want to use, you want to get maximum of numbers, and maybe you mistakenly put an alphabet in it. Maybe you actually mistakenly put an alphabet there, so we are going to it's going to actually throw a value error. I don't know if this is going to work that way. Okay, because there are other numbers. So let's just say for example you actually want to the value of the argument you want to put is not corresponding with your formula you're writing, because maximum ideally is supposed to return all numbers or anything that's arranged in a particular sequence. So if you are putting another type of data into it, it's going to throw you a value error. Just slash value, like that. So just get familiar with all these formulas in case while you're analyzing your data or while you are doing your analysis or solving some of the your assessment, you might encounter some of these errors. So by seeing them, you should just know what is actually happening and